Hello and welcome back to the Superhuman podcast, where we're always on the hunt for the newest tech, the newest tactics, the newest toys to make us superhuman, whether that means improving our health or fitness, cognitive performance, and so on. Before I start this episode, I want to shout out myself. I made a game for the last month. It's called Keybara.io, Keybara.io, and it's a typing game. And it's meant to kind of give you that childhood, feeling of just playing a game for hours, kind of immerse in it. It's very aesthetically pleasing. There's backgrounds. It's very vibey, but then also it's meant to improve your typing. So it's not just a video game, it's also a real life skill enhancer. So you can take your WPM, that's words per minute. You can take your WPM up, which can save you a lot of time. Me and Ben were just talking about, writing essays or writing code. Most people are about at 40 WPM, and the fastest typers in the world can do like 200, right? So there's a lot of room to improve. So, maybe while you're listening to this, I like to play Keybara.io and listen to podcasts. You could whip it out maybe after, 10 minutes a day is all you need. It's really awesome. Just wanted to shout it out. Ben played it before this podcast. Ben, what'd you think of it?
I think it's if Type Racer is too slow for you or a little bit boring and you like satisfying ASMR TikTok videos, it's at the intersection of both those. I love how you can change the background noise or the typing sound. Me and my roommate were going at it for a little bit, so it was definitely a good time. Speaking to your point of a childhood game that you can play endlessly. So I'll definitely be playing it whenever I have some downtime at work. We'll see.
Oh yeah, and Ben's work is a big deal. Ben is from Salesforce. Salesforce. And you know that, those internship positions are really competitive nowadays. He was a product marketing intern at Salesforce. And over there, he told me he was digging into health and life sciences, looking for some AI, some data improvements in HLS. That's the acronym for health and life sciences. So he reached out to me on the podcast, right? Because he's at the intersection of health and technology, exactly what we talk about here. And yeah, so I checked out all that Ben was doing, and I was like, oh my gosh, he's got to come on. This guy's got the most relevant, coolest experience for our podcast here. So yeah, he's built go to market research stuff, a lot of competitive insights. He's like a storyteller, operator over at Salesforce, figuring out ways that we could deploy AI and data stuff into HLS. Is that accurate?
Yeah, definitely. I would say if you want me to just give a little background here.
Oh yeah.
So my main function at Salesforce is on the MuleSoft cloud, which is Salesforce's integration, automation, and API management solution. Think of an API as a map. That's how I describe it. Let's say I gave you the idea of finding your way to the Bean in Chicago, and I placed you at Northwestern, and I said, hey, here's a picture of what it looks like. Go get yourself there. Or if I gave you a map and said, hey, go find yourself over there, which one's probably going to get you there quicker? The map is the API. The computer finds their ways through different protocols faster with APIs. So that's how I describe it. We do a lot more than that, but yeah, my role is mostly in the go-to-market strategy, helping out our teams with their like everything from messaging to customer stories to go-to-market to how can we develop our MDP, which is our marketing-driven pipeline, and then eventually get more um, sales through it, right? Through annual contract value. This summer, I decided to take a peek into also the HLS solutions that there are because of my own personal interest. And I think Salesforce is obviously the number one CRM software in the world. So lots of these medical companies are using it. And there's been a lot of hype around this thing called AI recently and agents, and Salesforce is doing fantastic things with agents and Agentforce. So yeah, I mean, it's been great. It's been a great opportunity. Summer's coming to a close in another week, but great company. Lots learned. So yeah,
Oh my gosh. You guys hear that? Basically, he's a genius. We got a really good one coming up today. Uh, our origin story, we actually know each other from high school. We know each other
yes,
from
we
high
do.
school. We did the school had performances and I was a drummer. I was one of the drummers and Ben was the lights guy. This guy, you should have seen what this guy did. It was crazy. There's lights going everywhere, all types of colors and movements. It was insane. I said, "How do you do this?" And he was like, "Oh, it's just whatever. I just do, 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 do." He's
Yeah,
insane.
lots of lights. Love lights.
He's
Yeah,
good with the technology for sure. And now he's using those he's using those skills in a really cool new way.
of course.
So all right, let's start out here. I just want to know, like, first of all, from all your research and work over at Salesforce this summer, I see a lot of crazy stuff on LinkedIn. There's a lot of hype, as
Hmm.
there's a lot of bullshit. So what's actually, transforming in healthcare, and maybe you can talk about other industries if you want, with AI? What's actually happening right now? What's realistically do you think going to happen in the future? And then, what's just the noise? You know, people just gotta shut up about, whatever kind of people say AI is going to do this and it's not.
Yeah.
What's the truth, Ben?
I think it's a great question, and we can see lots of different businesses now, enterprises transforming into AI agentic enterprises, where AI is now taking the role of assisting humans to make difficult decisions or take up busy work, allowing free time for humans to take action. And I think that that now has spiraled into other industries. When you think of industries, I think it's also really important to understand adoption by industry. So for think of a financial sector, that's going to adopt new technology very fast because you have to stay relevant. Think you're JP Morgan, think you're, BlackRock. These places need to incorporate AI quickly in order to keep up with competition. And then on the very end, on the other side, you have education, healthcare, manufacturing. They all have legacy systems that aren't really updating as much as you think they would. And in terms of incorporating AI, it's getting there, but it's a
Mm.
lot slower than other industries. And this is where the opportunity really comes in. So I can't share numbers because these are just internal numbers that, I've looked at, but in terms of like broader ideas, right? We know that the FDA is authorizing all of these AI medical devices that have really been coming on in the past couple of years, right? So in 2024 alone, the FDA authorized over like 200 medical devices, I think, which was the highest ever in a single year. So that really brings the total of AI and ML options, I think, over 1,000 since like the 90s. See them in some particular fields, not other particular fields. My interest has really lied in like trauma devices and like orthopedics. So when you think upper extremities, arms, chest, rib cage, lower extremities, your hips, your knees, all of that stuff. That was some areas of interest that I had, but I didn't see as much AI being incorporated into their medical devices as I thought. So I looked a little bit deeper, and then I talked to a friend of a friend, and I realized that AI actually has been started to being incorporated, but we see it in different areas. So, for example, like radiology, right? When you look at radiology, you think X-rays, CT scans, MRIs. If I blew up if I gave an AI, right, something to train on, pictures of cars, and then I show them a McLaren, and I'm like, hey, what McLaren is this? They'll be like, oh, it's McLaren F1 because it has pictures of that in the past. Okay, same thing if you give X-rays to an AI, right? It can detect anomalies and diagnose, speed up diagnoses, right, and reduce errors. So that's just one area where AI is like really taking action, right? But that's something that's more built in, right? So how else can we use it? Well, we could use AI to help with maintenance on equipment, maintenance on machines. That's an area where um, AI is being integrated into healthcare right now. How can we build that into our systems? How could that be built into Epic? So that's a different angle. But in general, when we're thinking about industries that are incorporating I think people generally levitate towards the most, obvious ones, tech, finance, public sector. So like advertising, we look at media, we like absorb all of it through TikTok nowadays, right? How easy is it to make a gorilla like going on a ski trip and like talking to the camera, right? Um, but it's very important not to forget about these sectors where there's huge opportunity. Even if though it requires a lot more hoops, FDA and all that, regulatory wise, I think it's super cool. And I hope students like myself, do end up looking a bit more into it because it's something on the up and up.
Hmm. So yes, this thing you're talking about where AI is going in all these industries like entertainment, it's going in like you said a lot of the obvious stuff, like finance too. Um, it's drastically reducing costs, right? It's making things a lot more productive, and it's like Moore's law, right? But the better compute gets, the better things get. But then, I heard about this thing called Earum's law, where it's like the cost of producing a drug actually gets worse over time and gets worse as
The
the
opposite.
compute.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people blame that. I'm a big fan of Balaji Srinivasan. He's a guy that talks about this. They blame that on the FDA, as you're talking about. So you've been doing research all the summer. What is causing Earum's law? What in the world is going on with healthcare? How come the technology isn't uh, improving things at the same rate as other industries? What in the world is going on, Ben?
And I would have two guesses at it, right? One of the AI concepts that I came up with was a way to sort of source like all of these different healthcare parts for like medical devices. You know how you'll get a bunch shipped overseas and then incorporate all those into, I don't know, some sort of equipment or some sort of system. Our regulatory environment right now is a little bit wonky. We all have heard about this on the news, tariffs, things like that. And when we're moving lots of this machinery from overseas, it can get pretty expensive.
Hmm.
So that'd be one thing. I think another thing in terms of FDA, I think a lot of people, and I was talking to a dermatology rep about this when I was on like a ride along. She was selling some like antifungal cream or something. But we were talking about, why do these drugs cost so much money? Like, why do they cost so much money? And it's all R&D. It's all research. Like these clinical trials cost billions of dollars a year. So the harder the drug is to produce, the more money it's going to cost. And if we're getting to a point where we've now knocked out all of these options and now we just keep on doing like more difficult and more difficult and more difficult drugs to produce, it's going to just cost more money. Granted, there's options to make it cheaper. There's actually a fantastic startup, I forgot the name. They are currently buying drugs that have some clinical trials done, but not like all the way at the very end that might maybe people kind of leaned out of. They're picking it up and then they're finishing it and then they're putting it out on the market. And it's a crazy idea because instead of spending billions of dollars, spending millions of dollars, they're picking it up and then they're repurposing it. So that was really cool. I stumbled across that. But those are my two thoughts at it. I don't actually have the exact information there, but that's a good point. I think at the end of the day, to be patient-centric with all the solutions, they all have to be affordable. And there's a lot of barriers right now in the world with affordable healthcare, everything from tariffs to like insurance. So that could be a whole other conversation. But unfortunately, that's just not the area that I've looked into as much. But yeah, really cool stuff, especially with that company. I'll try to find the name, but they're doing something right.
That is very cool. Um, okay, so the first thing you said, okay, so just Trump's making it worse with the tariffs.
Um, anything that's like parts production,
Yeah.
you know, when you need to put something together and it's individual parts coming from
Uh-huh.
100 different manufacturers,
Yeah.
that's going to increase the cost of manufacturing. And
Yeah.
then
Makes sense.
you're going to have less leeway for excess product, and that's something that people have been seeing. So that's why things are more expensive here, right? And that's no different than in medical sales. When you have medical devices that are made of a bunch of different parts that aren't made here in the US and they're like exported or imported, sorry, that's just the reality of the regulatory environment. Plus FDA, plus patents, plus research.
Goodness.
So it's expensive. It gets really, really expensive. Yeah.
Goodness. Yeah, Eram's Law, man. But yeah, that's interesting where you talking about like, when you do the simple stuff, you have to research more, and so they're producing the drugs that would cost more. You're saying
Mhm.
too is the second reason. That's cool. I've never thought about that.
Yeah, I mean it's just a reality of making expensive drugs.
Yeah.
But also equipment, right? We can't forget about the equipment as well. That's
And yeah, I mean, especially in in other countries, if they're not like respecting the patents or whatever, like I know India I think does this. Like they'll just produce it without even like having the license or whatever they need like illegally, or I don't know how that
like
works.
replicate
Yeah,
patents.
yeah,
I
like
understand.
then the company, essentially just loses all that market share that they would have otherwise have
No,
had
sure.
had the patent been enforced, right?
Sure.
That's got to be a big pain because you
Yeah,
could just they
I
spend
haven't
all
read
that and
much
then
into
you
that.
just boom replicate it, right?
I mean, that would make the most sense, and I think that's where you get generic drugs from,
Mm,
right? One person comes out, look at the COVID vaccine, for example.
yeah,
Like one company makes it, everyone else mass produces it afterwards because now you have the formula to how to make it.
exactly.
Um, Stuff like that where like if let's say like I was going to need a knee replacement, right? And I was going to need a full knee replacement. You could buy the expensive one that might last you an extra 5 years, or you can buy the generic one, which might last you 10 years, but not 15 years. So these are two different products. They cost two different things because one took more money to make and one didn't take as much. Like that's that's the reality of it. There's a luxury to it because you get more out of it. It has maybe some sort of coating on top that is just a better lubricant than the other one. That's just the reality of it. And that was an example that one of my mentors, who was at Smith and Nephew, actually gave to the class that I was taking at the time. And I think that that's really important also to remember. But yeah, that's to your point on pricing. That's where I would come from. Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's shift gears a little bit. Okay, so um, I saw you have a lot of good experience with AI agents and workflows and that kind of deal. And so you did this in a professional context, right? Like Salesforce, right? And I'm wondering, I really want to harness this kind of technology and then like tell the listeners like how can we leverage this kind of like productivity, workflows and agents and all this cool stuff for their own lives. So do you have any insights into that? Like how a listener of this podcast, could in their professional life or just their life use that kind of agentic AI technology, use AI automation workflows. I know like N8N's huge right now for their lives. Do you have any insights on that?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, right. We've seen it in our emails, we've seen it in our calendars, summarizing inboxes, drafting replies, booking meetings, auto adding tasks. This is like routine automation. So being able to help organize your life on a daily basis is so crucial. I think um, I was lucky enough to really get close and personal to agents this summer. If you know anything about Salesforce, you know Agentforce came out last year, Dreamforce. Amazing. It's fantastic.
Mm.
When I was doing B2B consulting for a faucet manufacturer, I ended up recommending Agentforce because they were a company, all of their competitors were lagging on this customer support agent, and I found no better way than, if you're already using Salesforce, why not, add on Agentforce, and that will add on agents to your company. It can take care of your outward facing customer support. It can take care of your back end. It can take care of, you know, any extra emails you have to draft, right? So it's good for a business, yes, but I think people aren't utilizing agents to the degree that they should in their own personal life.
Mm.
When let's say I'm on, I'm looking for jobs, right? You're looking for jobs probably. Everyone is right now, especially if you're trying to graduate college.
That
It's
time of the year,
impossible.
man. Yeah.
I'm sure you've heard the horror stories, 700 applications, right? Insane. I felt that last year. Okay, I set up my own agent to go through workflow, right? Log into LinkedIn, find jobs that are similar to the title that I want them to be. Okay, apply to the job, enter in my credentials, send a follow-up email, follow people on LinkedIn that are like similar to the job. Like these workflows, right? They're a way to automate a task that's repetitive that I might not want to do. And if I do do it manually, I'm going to end up falling behind the people that are using AI smartly. S Smarter than me. Yeah, I don't know. My English isn't Englishing today.
No,
But
that's no, that's just Silicon Valley talk, man.
yeah,
Smartly, Bitly,
if,
Calendly,
if you wanna
all the Lees. Everything ends
if
with
you if
Lee
you
or
if you
Phi in tech.
no, I know. I mean, if you want to get ahead of the curve and you're not using agents to speed up your own productivity, you're gonna fall behind.
Whoa, 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 wait. What agents are you using, dude? Is this chat? What is this?
I mean, lots of these GPT models are incorporating agents. So 5.0 now has an agent. It will do it for you. Last year I was running code and doing it. I found some code on GitHub
Okay.
from a friend, and I ended up using that off a YouTube tutorial. Before agents, I was doing it on Handshake.
So when can you give a timeline of this of when this like tech was out
I think,
and
well, the
and you were
tech's
using it
been out for
successfully?
a while, right? If you can create a code that will log in to LinkedIn,
Yeah.
it'll go through jobs maybe that you've bookmarked and then apply to each of them based on like clicks on a page because all the buttons are in the same place. They haven't
Yeah.
changed. If everything's easy apply, right? And you're pressing in the same spots every single time because it's easy apply, like in theory, yeah, you could write an agent to do that for you.
And
So,
would that be if you're just going like the coordinate, you're getting the, I don't know, like the the cursor to the coordinates on the screen or
mhm.
something? Is that rule based, that one you just described?
Yeah, I mean it would be.
Okay.
Um, as long as you have your resume saved in there, right? I mean, okay, let's take Handshake for example. Are you familiar with the platform?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
I grind handshake like that.
Yeah, I'm an anti-handshake guy myself.
Oh, why is
I
that?
just I never got a job off of it, but
Oh,
it works, right? So it's very easy to apply. It's meant for students to really do like 3 clicks and then be have applied to a job. So if you if you go on to ChatGPT and you're like, hey, help me make an AI agent to go through here and apply to jobs based off of my major, based off of similar experience, it makes it easy for you because Handshake actually puts how qualified of a candidate you are. So if you say, hey, look, I'm trying to apply to these jobs where I'm a qualified candidate, okay, great. It'll help you look through it, find them, and then apply for them for you. And these models have gotten so advanced that at nowadays it's fairly easy. It's human language coding, right? So it's not as complex as it used to be. I'm not a programmer. I'm not a coder. I really haven't taken that many CS classes. So if I can do it, pretty much anyone can do it. But yeah, using agents to optimize time and efficiency is so crucial right now. Questions on like let's say we're on the same team at a company, questions in a Slack chat about Where can I find creative assets? Okay, I'm going to make an agent that will direct people there if I give it the right knowledge to draw from, right? These are ways that agents are helping in professional. I hope I answered your question. I kind of rambled on for a little bit, but those are ways I've personally been using it. So,
Dude, I
yeah.
you're making me feel like an idiot here, and it's great because I'm like, oh my gosh, why haven't I been doing this? That's amazing. Yeah, I didn't know it was that easy. I
I did not apply to Salesforce with that, by the way. I'm putting that on. No, I'm so serious.
ah
I actually manually applied to Salesforce. I put that on the record because there are thousands of applications for these
yeah.
roles now. Like if you're trying it for big tech, I think for the product marketing role that I
Yikes.
was in,
Yeah.
there was four product marketers in the US this summer.
Okay.
Um, and
How
for
many
those
apply?
four,
Or
I
let me
think there
guess.
was
Let me
like,
guess. Let me guess.
take a guess. How many applications do you think there were for the four spots?
40,000.
Okay, no, it was not
Oh,
40,000,
oh.
but it was like 3,000
Dude, that's
nationwide.
still insane. That's a lower acceptance rate than like Harvard or Stanford. That's
Oh,
nuts.
100%. If you're not in the first 200 applications on any job nowadays, you're not getting your resume even
It's
looked at.
nuts.
It's horrible. I just wrapped up a Johnson Johnson interview
All
before
right.
this call
Oh.
for a sales leadership development program with them. The recruiter told me on call, she said, we received 700 applications for this.
Oh
So
my
even without a referral, like
goodness.
you should be proud you made first round. I low-key fumbled at the end, so I don't know if I got second round or not, but
Oh my gosh.
it's yeah,
Me
it's
and
very
everyone
competitive.
listening knows you probably killed it. You're
Oh
just being
no,
nitpicky.
absolutely. We'll see what happens, but yeah. Let me ask you, how do you use AI or agents in your life right now? Because I know that you're very tech savvy, right? I see everything that you got going on. So that's why I reached out in the first place. I was like, is there something that maybe we can work on? Like, how can I get involved,
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, so I just made a Keybara that was mostly vibe coded. We were talking about it before. Um,
Yeah.
Vibe coded, then I just, I go in. I know HTML, CSS, JavaScript. I uh
Yeah.
I self-taught those. So like 30% of it was my code.
Okay.
Especially we were talking like CSS. I'm very picky about how I want things stylized, so I did a lot of manual CSS stuff. Um, but I don't think I needed to. I mean, like honestly, I could have done the whole thing vibe coded. And so my process was like I just told the AI what I want. I had a tab open with a live server, which is this thing you can get on VS Code for
Hmm.
Visual Studio Code
Yep.
to test whatever you're making live, your website or your app or whatever. Okay, like on a Chrome browser. And so I'm just back and forth with ChatGPT. Give me the code. I copy and paste it into Visual Studio Code. Also,
Hmm.
another free thing. I'm talking to listeners. Like, obviously, you know this stuff. Don't feel like I'm talking down like dumb to you. I'm talking to the
Oh,
listeners.
I no, it's great. I'm like I
Ben,
said, I'm a
Ben's
coder.
a
So.
go. He knows all this stuff already.
No,
Okay.
I don't.
And so then, yeah, I did the live server from VS Code, test the thing. I was making a game, so I would test the game out, which is fun, right? Who doesn't like
Mhm.
testing out games, playing
Oh
games?
yeah.
I just told ChatGPT what I liked, what I didn't like, and then it would tweak the code based off that. Repeat, and then just keep doing that. And when the responses would take too long, I would turn on South Park. I'd watch South Park. That was my way of making the time go by when the responses were were,
Yeah.
were
That's a
taking
good
a
way of making
minute.
the time go by. That's funny.
And that process, dude, like sometimes I would do like 14 hours straight. Like
Yeah.
I've done it literally 14 hours straight. And I loved every
Crazy.
second of it. It's addicting.
Crazy.
It's like playing a video game.
I think,
It's you
and
know what it's actually like, Ben? It's like
what?
gambling because you never
Okay.
know when it's going to give you the response you want. Because I'd
That's
have it
funny.
try out like getting the thing that I want like right like 10 times and it works on the 10th time. And it's like a what are those called? A slot machine,
Yeah.
you
Slot
know?
machine. Yeah. It's cool. Um, like I said, I've tried the vibe coding thing.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's
It's
good.
insane.
But I have great cousin of mine. He's out in San Francisco doing the whole coding thing, good startup thing. I think I see every single day now. I see all these YC backed companies, startups of like people that are like 21 years old,
Oh yeah,
like
it's nuts.
Cluely, for example, right?
Clearly, yeah.
That are out here just doing crazy things with AI, crazy things with agents. I think maybe it was Mark Cuban. He was like, this is the age where AI is really the biggest thing, and I could make $1 million in a month if I just use it correctly. So, um, like I said, there's these gaps in healthcare. If you can figure out a way, like that would be my number one area to target right now.
Yeah.
If I could tell you, like, hey, you know how to code, you know how to vibe code, like if you can deal with the FDA, right, and you can get around the regulatory challenges, like go crazy.
So that's what I was about to say, man, because it seems like is that like the thing that's making this like AI explosion lag in health technology? Is there no hope without regulatory, changes?
I'm not sure. I don't particularly think so. There was a YC backed company that just came out with another promotional video, I think last week,
Okay.
and they're doing the difference in like insurance prices on healthcare products. And their whole thing is providing clarity on that. If
Yeah.
I'm saying it right, I also again forgot the company name. But they're coming out slow. But if I think about the ratio, right? Of like these are all the SaaS B2B like cloud-based CRM system startups that are all coming out, and then these are like the maybe few manufacturing, education,
Yes.
like healthcare,
Yeah.
and everything's finance and tech, and then there's like these
Yeah.
all these like tiny ones over here, and
Yes.
that's
Yeah, exactly.
representative of how quickly
It's
these
exactly how it
industries
is,
are to
dude.
adopt. But if you can find a way to persuade a manufacturer to leave their legacy system and use yours or integrate yours into their system, like I don't know. I think there's huge, huge potential there. Um, but you just gotta find the right way in. And I think that there have been some great companies that have. Um, but I think there's so much room for growth. So, and I mean, you can see like companies like Stryker, right? One of the number one uh, medical device companies in the entire world. If I go into a hospital and I don't see a Stryker rep in black scrubs, I'm gonna be like, oh well, what's going on?
Yeah.
I mean, they've been acquiring companies, right? They acquired Care AI,
Okay.
which is an ambient like AI monitoring and virtual rounding system. So it addressed like, for example, it could address like staff shortages and safety. We have systems like Epic. I haven't done
Yes.
too much research into it, but Epic is in like almost used by almost every single
Yeah,
hospital,
yeah, seems like that. Yeah.
patient info, everything, right? And there's just so much opportunity for AI in that. I think they're already experimenting with it if I'm not wrong. But yeah, I think I don't think a nursing robot is going to come out tomorrow that's going to be like a nursing caretaker that looks like Iron Man or something. But
That's terrifying.
if you saw NVIDIA's roadmap of where AI is going to go, it's agents, and then the next is going to be like physical, actual AI
Yeah,
people.
they're
But
really big on that. I did some tours of their HQ because I go to school right
I
by
saw,
there.
yeah, I saw. How was that? Was it good?
That's the biggest thing that they were talking about in
They're
all
really
these
stepping
things
it
is
up.
is physical AI. They call it physical AI. I'm just like, why don't you just call it robots? It sounds so much cooler.
Physical AI, physical manifestations of artificial
Physical
intelligence.
AI.
Yeah,
It's
I think it's
robots.
uh,
Just
I
call
think
it
it's cool.
robots. But anyway, it's very cool.
Yeah,
And the way that they're doing it works. I mean, or it makes sense,
absolutely.
which is like what they're doing. And I got to, I'll talk about my buddy Sean, who's doing some stuff for this too.
Mhm.
It is, AI is trained, as you know, through, trial and error, right? There's a
Mhm.
loss function, and then there's back propagation. If the math is boring, but if you know it, you know what I'm talking about. Okay. And so you can train a robot in a simulated environment where, you reproduce the physics of the real world in a real world environment. You're talking about manufacturing. Like, let's say you reproduce a manufacturing environment one for one,
Mhm.
and you can set up a robot that learns what to do in that environment through trial and error in that virtual environment. So you can train AI, you can train physical AI without the physical costs because it's all simulated.
Yeah, yeah.
And that just makes sense. I'm like, holy cow, this is going to be big. I already got a buddy, especially with you think of like 3D printing and stuff like that.
Mm.
I got a buddy whose startup, he's getting interviewed in San Francisco like right now. Um, for
Yeah.
Y Combinator. Um, he's making like synthetic. His name is Sean Boo, really cool guy. He's making synthetic data to train these virtual robots before they become real robots.
Yeah.
That's the you know what I mean? That's the future.
Yeah. I
That's the
worked with
future.
something, I worked with something
So
like
cool.
literally this past spring, almost exactly the same,
Okay.
but it was in marketing. So it was called Synthetic Users. It was a Spanish startup.
Yes, yes, I've seen this. I've seen this. I've seen this.
We got our entire class got like subscriptions, like $1,000 subscriptions. Thank you so
Yes.
much to, I forgot his name, fantastic guy, right? And marketing consulting, like it takes so much money to do this research,
Yeah.
in terms of creating like a customer profile. I did it manually for the faucet company. We did 50 like surveys.
Yeah.
But when we were trying to, we were consulting for a fintech startup trying to interrupt the credit card market
Okay.
for credit card fees. And we were trying to create a customer profile for the United Kingdom. And we were using synthetic users for like, okay, these are their pain points. This is like where they come from. And then the AI would use previous data, right,
Yeah.
to pump out multiple different customer profiles, and then it'd be trained on all of these previous answers from people. So in a completely in a virtual environment, right? So really cool stuff. And again, bringing down the cost of how much it costs to either train or get these examples. But that's cool. I know we have, plenty of robots in factories already that are already doing stuff. Probably took a lot of trial and error. Think Amazon warehouses, right? Cocoa bots on the side of the road, Waymos. But yeah, you make a really great point about virtual setting, training AI, like physical agents. That's really cool. I haven't looked into that too much.
Yeah,
That's
some of
another.
it's already being deployed. I mean, one I know one company, I forgot their name, but
Yeah.
a guy, this VC guy who comes to my school, who I know and talk to, really cool guy. I don't know if I want to share his identity, but his son works for. He was telling me about this this robot company, and their
Mm.
whole edge is all these robot companies. You know, they're thinking of like the Jetsons, they're thinking of like
Yeah,
whatever. And so obviously they're just thinking of when you think of a robot, you think of basically me, like a human being with arms and legs.
of course.
And so they're trying to make humanoid robots, right?
Yeah.
But these guys, I forgot their name is, but they're so cool. They're like, why are we doing legs? Like they because their legs are the hardest thing to calibrate. Like walking, like even humans, it takes humans a while before they can walk, you know
Walk.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you start off crawling. So it just doesn't have legs and it just like moves up and down kind of on this like riser thing and moves the boxes and moves like parallel and just has
Hmm.
arms. And so that's already being used in some factories. It's the coolest thing, man. Robots are cool.
Have you seen the Coco bots, the food delivery bots?
No, what is this?
I don't know if they're in where you're California, right? So like in Chicago, if I order DoorDash, right?
Yeah, yeah.
This little robot with like four wheels and like a
Okay.
little like looks like a cooler with like wheels on it will go to the store.
Yeah.
It'll open up the lid. The guy will come out. I'll put the food in it. It'll close the lid. It'll turn on its little light. It'll like drive all the way to me on on the sidewalk, stop for a pedestrian, and
Yeah.
then it gets to my door and opens the lid and my food's inside. And
Wow.
that's my favorite. They look really cute. They're really funny. And if you touch
Oh.
them, they'll like go crazy. They'll beep and stuff.
Oh,
And
really?
yeah, they'll sound the alarm. But
Oh my gosh.
those ones are pretty cool. And I can't
Some
believe that they were
drill will
doing
come out the back and
something. Yeah, I
and a
mean
laser
it.
beam will start shooting at you.
Bless an alarm. Um, yeah, I mean, I can't wait to see where physical AI will go. I have really high expectations for the next 2 years. And I mean, I always say, I'm like, I didn't even know medical sales was a thing 2 years ago. I don't even know where I'm going to land in 5 years.
Yeah.
So I
Dude,
think
no one
AI is
knows what's going to
having
be
a
what in
huge,
5 years.
huge difference.
And
Yeah.
quantum too. I feel like quantum's going to just This is like maybe we're right now in quantum. We're at like, and I really don't know. We're at like AlexNet stage. Remember AlexNet? Do you know AlexNet? AlexNet was like when people started to take AI a lot more seriously, like neural nets more seriously.
Okay.
It was, I think it was 2012. Um, it was this guy who won this image recognition like software competition with a
Okay.
neural network, which he called AlexNet, and it was a convolutional neural network. This is when people started to really look into AI.
Oh, yes. The one that started like the deep learning boom.
Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes. Yes, yes,
And
yes.
so, people got, the Google quantum computer looked cool, but obviously we're not seeing it in our everyday lives. Like maybe we're at the AlexNet stage of it. You know what I mean? And then
Potentially.
we're gonna
Yeah.
get to the ChatGPT stage of quantum computing, if you're getting my analogy there, where it's just
Yes.
gonna
Yes.
completely flip our lives upside down. I don't know. You know what I mean? There's too many things to track. It's a little bit overwhelming.
I
Imagine
think
being a,
there's
a Gen Alpha, dude.
no, there's going to be a point where
Too many things.
there's going to be a point in every single industry. Um, and this is my opinion. Every single industry, including, healthcare, including education, probably going to take a while for teachers to be replaced by AI. I don't think they really ever will, but
Mm,
I mean, I think there's going to be a point where every single industry, um, the busy tasks, right? The stuff that, you don't really need to do. It just
yeah.
takes a lot of time and it's just busy work at that point. That's all going to be taken by AI, and then all of the actionable items that need a human are going to be given back to human representatives in each of those respective roles. Um, and I think that that's going to, I really never want to see AI as a threat. I always want to see it as an opportunity for humans to take action. Um, and I mean, I had an ex-girlfriend literally tell me,
Oh,
you're destroying the world for
what?
AI, but
Oh my goodness.
it's a deep talk at nowadays. But AI is fantastic. I really do, in all seriousness, think, there's going to be a time where we can't really distinguish as much, but I'm not super worried about it yet. But I love AI agents. I think they're fantastic. I think they're so cool. And I'm glad to be working on them this summer.
That's where you
Salesforce
want to
has
be, dude.
really
That's what's up.
Salesforce is 100%, almost 100% AI agent trailblazer champions
Whoa.
or trailblazers, which means everyone has been trained on how to use AI, how to build AI, how to integrate them with workflows, how to use Agentforce. And that is the standard, the golden standard for a company, that it requires all of their employees to get to a
Whoa.
point, including interns, to get to a point where they are so comfortable with AI.
And AI agents at that, right?
And agents,
Now
yes. So
that's
every single
that's
person
new.
at Salesforce, if you go up to them
Whoa.
nowadays and you're like, "Hey, I want you to tell me how I can integrate Agentforce into ABC," they'll be like, "Okay, you can use it. You can do it using MuleSoft API. Any point to
Yeah.
manage your APIs, you can then put it into this and then this and then this, and then it'll it's kind of cool, you know? I think all companies should be doing that, but there's definitely a lag time. So we'll see. We'll see some change though.
No, you better hope they don't do it. So you guys are the only ones doing it. That's gonna make you guys,
No, 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 no.
it's gonna
But
make you guys
they'll
dominate the
hopefully.
world. Those agents, man. That's
Yeah,
powerful.
agentic enterprise should be the new standard, hopefully, in the next 5 years. We'll see.
So okay, so what is Agent Force?
That's a great question. I think the way that I would describe Agentforce is a tool to alleviate some of the stressful extra tasks that humans are doing,
Yeah.
um, and then put the time back in the hands of the users. So Agentforce is a agent, of course. But I think that most importantly, Agentforce is not just your customer service rep, right? It can perform all sorts of different workflows on the back end, on the front end.
Okay.
It can be a customer service rep, but let's say let's say you wanted to buy, and I'm going to use the customer story from Dreamforce last year. Let's say that you wanted to buy an Aston Martin. And you went on Aston Martin's website, right? And you were like, I want to know how much it's going to cost me to buy an Aston Martin in green with these custom rims, and then I want it to be delivered next week. And then Agentforce will come in and it'll say, okay, based on everything,
You
this
don't
is,
have enough money.
well, yeah, me no. And I would love an Aston Martin. Agentforce will come back and be like,
Based on everything, you can't afford it.
this is how much it's going to cost you. And then it'll ask, okay, what do you want it delivered or do you want to pick it up? Okay, I want it delivered. Okay, what's your availability? Okay, I want it at this date. Okay, great. And are these, and then they're like, let's say, you know what, actually, I want these rims instead. What rims would work for it? Okay, you could actually get these rims, these rims. And at the same time, your agent is looking in the background, making sure that there's opportunity for you to get delivered, making sure there's products available in certain
Wow.
places. Um, and it can entirely automate you buying a car, customizing it, and getting it delivered without any human
Nuts.
in the process. So now, as a human representative, I can take care of the cancellations. Agent Force could also probably do that. But I could take care of okay, I want 10 cars and then I want a pricing like decrease on that or something, you know?
Yeah.
It just frees up time. And then that gives humans the option to act. Um,
But
Go ahead.
can your AI deal with Karens? Does it have a way of like dealing? I want to see that happen. Like, how would it deal with like a Karen? You know what a Karen is, right?
Of course. So
That's kind of interesting. What does it
I
do?
think
Is it good enough with like psychology to make them like calm down? I don't know. I was just thinking about this the other day.
no, I mean, so there's some fail safes,
What's
right?
that?
In AI. I mean, so, AI is trained so that there's guardrails in place. There's always going to be guardrails in place when you have AI agents.
Okay.
You can't have people going in and putting in malicious code trying to like make it turn some way or give out a Windows like key or something, you know. It's not going
Hmm.
to do that. There's safeguards there, right?
Okay.
But no, AI will eventually be trained to de-escalate, use remedies within like limits, right? And then it's always going to be polite. So yeah, Karens are
Yeah.
still going to be there. But let's say I had 100 customers, 90 of them were really good, 10 of them were Karens. My AI is going to take care of those 90, and then the human representative is going to take care of those 10, instead of the human representative having to take care of all 100. So that's
Yeah.
really where agents are powerful, is again
Yeah.
freeing up the time to take care of those more
That's
difficult
true.
case scenarios.
So now all day you can just deal with Karens.
Exactly.
No.
I mean, I wouldn't be doing it. It'd be like, I don't even know. I don't even think like AEs or something, customer support. But yeah, I mean,
Make the newbie do it.
everyone I've talked to at Salesforce has been absolutely incredible. So I have nothing bad to say. They're all great people.
Yeah, okay. Let's talk about I'm sure, a lot of people listening to this are about our age. Internships are crazy right now. We were talking about how nuts it is. You got into Salesforce, very, very good stuff, but we can't all be like Ben. So what's the way, what's the strat? What's the strat to get an internship like you did, dude?
Yeah, man.
We
I
want
mean,
to
great
know.
question. And I've had people reach out, which has been awesome because I think I did like 200 hours of cold calling, like coffee chats
Holy cow.
last year.
Two.
Yeah, a lot. But it's hard to secure these internships nowadays. It's hard to get any internship now. I got super lucky. I got Salesforce super last minute in like J March, May. I don't know. No, May maybe. Like fully secured the offer.
So
Uh,
when did you start that process?
I flew out to San Francisco to onboard in June, which was awesome. Super great people. Met some incredible people. I'm not special. I don't come from an Ivy League. I don't come from a public school, like a top 100 even. My school is probably ranked like 300th in the country. Great
You talking
school. Love
you
DePaul.
talking DePaul or GBM?
Yeah, DePaul.
Oh,
Love
DePaul.
DePaul. But I think that your education isn't what defines you. I think a lot of people get stuck up on that. What really helps my case was my ambition and my networking.
Mm,
Although I will say, if you're referred into some of these companies, all that really gets you is your name and your resume looked at. Everything
mm,
else besides that is up to you. So you have to really find a way to stand out. I stood out because I still do those lights. I still do
yeah.
that. So I work in the music industry in Chicago.
All right.
I help run production for like three of the largest venues for the largest company in Chicago. So we have ARC this weekend. Looking forward to it. Shout out Oris. But
Go to it. Whatever. What? Go
yeah,
to
biggest
it.
house music festival, at least in the country. I know that. Massive, massive, massive shows. Shout out John Summit. But yeah, I mean, make yourself stand out. So you got to find something to do on the side that is a passion project. Quote by Salesforce Recruiter, everyone's a co-founder nowadays.
Oh
So how
yeah.
are you going to make yourself stand out, right? I know it's probably super different in terms of technical interviews when it comes to any software engineering interns. I was on product marketing, so it was all strategy, presenting exactly what I did up until that point to prove that I was going to be a valuable asset. Um, I had many different hats, whether it be like I worked in advertising, I worked with the second largest advertising company group in the world. I
Oh
did
wow.
that. Um, Media investments, so like investment banking, but in like media.
Okay.
Then I moved over to consulting. I did some consulting for like direct to consumer, B2B, tech startup. And then all of that together, plus all the leadership with the music stuff, that's what really got me in the door. But I think you just really have to set yourself apart nowadays in order to be competitive. So making an app isn't going to do that. You have to actually get out there, find some sort of like part-time job, maybe full-time job, and just kill at it. You need to differentiate yourself that way. I think that's my advice. Yeah. Go
Everyone is
deep.
a founder of something now, dude.
I mean, yeah,
Dude,
you
it's crazy. I see high school, right? Because I'm sure you get like, peep, these guys went to Glenbrook North with you. I see
oh
some of
yeah.
them, they're still in high school, right? It's like
Yeah.
17, 18, 16 years old, and it's like CEO and Chief Financial Officer of
And
what in
it's
the
not
world
bad.
is
It's
going
not bad.
on?
I'm not trying to hate on it. Like it's not bad at all. But if you don't have the credibility behind what you're spending all your time on, sometimes you're wasting your time because if you go and let's say you start your freshman year at a company. I called every single venue in Chicago until someone picked up the phone and I said, "Hey, I'll work really, really hard for you. Let me like lug around boxes for a year.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's see where we go." And then I rose the ranks. I got promoted like three times.
Wow.
I got fired three times in 3 years, but you keep on crawling back and then you work at the same company and you do crazy things. And then now you have this big company behind you and you have this really incredible experience that you can talk to in any interview. And that
Wow.
sometimes looks better than, hey, I co-founded this like smaller app. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's my 2 cent. But
No, you
yeah.
know what? You're right. Because I saw this LinkedIn post earlier actually with this guy, and he was like this really, successful entrepreneur. And he said, like, oh, I want some stability. I had kids, so I went back on the job market, right?
Hmm.
And this guy is super successful entrepreneur. He's talking about all the money he raised and stuff. And he's like, holy cow, it's really hard getting a job, even though I have all this
Possible.
entrepreneurial stuff. And it's like what you're saying. Like they want to see that I guess you can work in a company because it's not the same thing.
Exactly. I mean, when I've gone in a job interview, straight up, like I'm in Chicago, all these people that are my age now listen to house music, they all go out, right?
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, what makes you different? All right, like I work at a nightclub. Oh, really? Which nightclub? Oh, I work at this nightclub. Oh, really? Like, who's the coolest act you've done? Like, oh, I did Tiesto, which is
Oh, you
true.
did yesterday. Yeah.
Did do Tiesto.
Yeah.
Did the lights for Tiesto.
He's let's get down to business.
Yeah, yeah, that guy. Cascade from Northbrook, shout out.
Okay.
All of these,
I
all these
didn't know
like,
we had a house scene.
well, no, he was at the Super Bowl. He played the Super Bowl this year. He was the Super Bowl DJ.
Holy
Yeah,
cow.
yeah. I mean,
Nice.
when I say that, then a person's like, "Oh, what the heck? That's a crazy experience." And I'm like, "Yeah, you know what? I think that is crazy experience."
Wow.
And if you can make someone remember you with like something like that, do it. I don't know, go DJ or something. Like I put that on the end of my
DJ.
Salesforce presentation. I put a little picture of me DJing, and they remembered it, so they liked it a lot. Yeah,
Oh.
stuff like that. Make yourself stand out. I think that's my biggest piece of advice.
Yeah, because I guess, like a company, it's more it's working with people, you know what I mean? As you're in groups and stuff. It makes sense. There's more personal. They want to know that stuff.
When you're working for yourself, you don't have the same environment that you do when you're working with other people.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's also different in startup culture, right? Because if you're in a startup, and I hope to maybe do that one day, but unless I gain enough experience, yeah, you can learn a lot by yourself and you can learn a lot in a startup, but you won't learn how to talk to people that are like above you.
Yeah, yeah.
You won't learn like laterally how to work with like in a corporate setting of if you ask a person, they're probably not going to know the answer. You're going to have to ask five or six people before you actually find the right answer.
Hmm.
That's corporate America. That's big tech, right? Um, and it moves really fast. So there's a lot of takeaways like that, but there's some stuff that you're just not going to learn if you're just by yourself.
Yeah, it seems like it, yeah, it's different. You kind of got to get used to those big
Yeah.
company environments.
Have you done it? Have you worked in any larger companies yet?
No. No, I
I'll
don't
get
know
there.
if I really want to. I like startups. I like startups.
Startups are great. I really, really want to do some sales for a startup.
All right.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
What if I let me send you a shirt of my
Sure.
of Keybara. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I got shirts that I'm selling.
Promo. We'll promo it.
It's cool. So it's you know what it says on it, right? It's a
What?
typing game.
Yeah,
So it says if you're watching on YouTube, I'll put a picture here. It says shift happens, like the shift key.
that's funny.
So I'll
Yeah,
send you one of
that's
those
good. I like that a
for
lot.
free.
Yeah, thank
But you got
you.
to promise that you're gonna wear it.
No, I'll wear it. I'll wear it. I'll wear it to Salesforce. Trust.
Some marketing.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
no, yeah, I mean it's yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm a fan of the I've never done it. The bureaucracy stuff you're saying though with like asking him to ask him and stuff. I don't know if I'd like that, but
But it's
um
also like it's learning. It's
yeah,
learning.
but you
Be
also get
patient.
like
You have to be patient. You
yeah,
have to be committed to something, right? Like,
more
um,
people to
I might
connect
ask.
with and learn from and stuff probably, yeah.
My boss is in Australia. The rest of my team members, no one, I have no team members in Chicago. My boss is in Australia, so he logs on at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. That's when
What
I
in the
can talk to
world?
him at the end of the day.
Okay.
So if I have a question, I will ask like 5 to 10 people in order to get a response.
Oh my goodness.
But that's also like huge for learning, right? So I think there's pros and cons, but
Yeah, yeah.
my
No, I'm sure
opinion.
if you're like in a big building like the Apple what's it called? The Apple spaceship thing. If you're in the Apple headquarters, if you're in, where you are at Salesforce, you're going to
Yeah,
be
in the
around
tower.
going to be around a lot of talent, a lot of know-how, you know, probably going to learn a bunch.
Oh, yeah, I feel totally out of place every single day, but I think
Yeah.
that's
And that's probably a
normal.
good thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I've learned a lot. So it's incredible people, incredible environment, super, super, super smart people, and everyone is most importantly, everyone wants you to succeed and they want to teach you the right things, which I think is something that you need to see on a team, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, incredible, incredible stuff.
All right. That was good. Went for about an hour. And I really enjoyed having you on, Ben.
Yeah, thanks, Marty. I
Talking
appreciate it.
about because I really wanted to talk, about the business and the industry with you because I talk a lot to a lot of people about technologies,
Mhm.
right? About the technologies, about the science. And that's cool, but I think I wanted this, you have a lot of great practical experience for people that are interested in this industry and we got just that. Um, so that was
Well,
pretty
yeah, I mean,
awesome.
I hope I was worth your time. I
Oh, this was
appreciate you
great, dude.
taking the time to talk. So yeah, we'll be in touch. And
You're saying that after you got here right after a big old big swinging Johnson
J&J
interview.
interview. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, wish me luck.
Oh, you're
We'll
gonna do
see.
great, dude.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, man, thank you so
I'm the
much. I
one
appreciate it.
intruding on your schedule, dude.
Absolutely not. You're good.
All right, but yeah, man. Okay, so yeah, stay doing those internship applications. Stay networking. Something we learned, and stay superhuman. Peace.